I danced a while ago, but I started when I was like 2 years old. And I think that's where a lot of it kind of branched out from because it's very strict and very to the point, and you have to be perfect in everything that you do, and you're compared to everybody around you. So that's where a lot of my anxiety and depression kind of branched off of. And I actually have PTSD from dance now, which is like crazy. But I think that like a lot of it was from that, and growing up with it was really difficult to do everyday tasks and to make friends because basically like I just overthink everything. I walk into a room and I think of like the absolute worst thing that could happen, whether it's like a chair falling down or like the ceiling collapsing, or where would I go if there was an earthquake or things like that. And I kind of think of my head as like a TV that somebody else has the remote to. So I can't control like what I'm seeing or what I'm thinking of. So it could be a situation that happened 10 years ago and I'm thinking of it like over and over in my head. And that's like the how the anxiety feels. It's so like it controls me, and like I can't do the things that I normally would want to do because it like keeps me, it holds me back, and it makes me so scared of like everything that I'm doing. And growing up with that, it was always like that. Like I didn't have any friends unless it was at dance, and I kind of felt like they were like forced to be my friends because like we were there constantly from like 2 to like 9 every day, and then from 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. on Saturday and even on Sunday. So I was just constantly there and really just like woke up, went to school, went to dance, came home, and like really had no life at all. That's all it was. And then that's kind of like where the depression came from, is because I just didn't do anything and I had no friends, and like I was not like really having that great of a time at dance because everyone was kind of mean to me because I was like so open about like my religion and like going to church on Sunday. So I just got like really, really sad and just like felt trapped in my anxiety because I felt like I couldn't do anything. And then it felt like I was in my own like hole, just like dark and like alone, and just being like the walls were coming in on me, and I just had nowhere to go, like even in my own like space, even in myself. And that was just like, that was from like middle of elementary school, and especially in like middle school and beginning of high school. It was just so bad, and just like overthinking everything and then like stepping back. And it was just constant steps back, and I felt like I like never really took like steps forward towards anything. So I stopped dancing 8th grade, and that summer I like literally had nowhere to go. And I was going to the crossing already. I've been here since like 3rd grade. I had gone sometimes, but not all the time because I normally had dance. So I started going again that summer and started seeing the people that like I haven't seen in years, and went to small group and stuff like that. And then I started going like every Wednesday all the time. And then during spring break that year, I actually went to Belize, and that trip like completely like changed my life. And that's when I like actually like declared my life for Jesus, and like that's like when my like relationship really started with him.
So, Morgan, what was a turning point from that anxiety and depression?
So I think it was just all of it piling on top of each other and getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and just got to the point where I wasn't having any good days and couldn't remember the last time I did. And it got so like overwhelming that the only way that I thought that I could escape it was to like not be here anymore and to not live on this earth anymore and not wake up another day. And it was, a Wednesday night, and it was like terrible. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not waking up on Thursday. Like it's not happening. But then like eventually, like I was talking to Nate, our old youth pastor, and a bunch of my friends like kept texting me, like, cause they all knew that something was wrong, cause I just wasn't being my normal me. So they all kind of just like helped me out of that. And after that, I knew that I really needed to start working on it and couldn't just live with it. And that's when really was a turning point.
So, after that turning point, what was kind of the difference, or what would you say is keeping you on the good side of this now, as opposed to falling back again to the bad side of it?
Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of things that I implemented in my life just to keep track with like God and to make sure that I stay with him. And really big part of that was reading and reading his word. And like, because a lot of times the thoughts that would go through my head were just lies, and I just started believing lies. So I needed to just read his word and read the truth so that I could be reminded of that. So like every morning I wake up and I, read, whether it's like a verse, a short verse, or just a chapter, or even sometimes a whole book. I'll read and just be reminded of that truth and walk into the day knowing that. And I also think that like my depression and anxiety has always been a negative thing, and like I've always just like been thinking that it's the worst possible thing and why has God done this to me. But I use it in like positive aspects now. So like I'm in student council, or like I help here, and I can think of like all the situations that could happen. And yes, sometimes they might be negative, but then we can try to like figure out problems that might come up with it. And that's like I've used like the things that come from my anxiety and my depression like to my advantage, and I'm able just to like stay like with God because I read and I pray, and I just know that he's always there even in the silence.